guys, so we got it outside, we got it pressure washed, we got all the wiring taken out of it, we have it all stripped down. I cut the rear end off of it, so I got the rear tires mounted on there. I have 1-inch wheel adapter and then a 2-inch wheel adapter. So we have a 1-inch wheel adapter with a 2-inch wheel spacers behind them, giving us a total of 3-inch backspace. But I think I'm gonna have to go with 3-inch wheel spacers, and that'll pop it out just where it needs to be. I'm running the same setup on my other golf cart and it seems to be just fine. This ain't gonna be no speed dimming, and they should hold up just fine. One thing we are gonna do though is we are going to use the drum brakes on the rear, but we're gonna do disc brakes on the front. So with these small light tires, those drum brakes should do just fine, and I can tie them in to the same pedal as the hydraulic front brakes for it. So now that we got all of that all done, I think we're ready to basically we're ready for an engine mock-up back here. So we know what we got to change, but we also need longer shocks. We're going to look for 15-inch shocks. These are like 12-inch. We're going to look for 15 or 16-inch shocks, so we have that lift, and that'll also keep this away from this frame because it's close, but I think with 3-inch wheel spacers we'll clear that just fine. We had to cut the rear end off because it was rotted out. So we are ready for an engine mock-up. So I got to figure out shocks and an engine. Now, either A, we're going to do a 420 Predator engine, which are very reliable engines, with a CVT setup. The only downside to that is if the CVT gets wet, the belt's gonna slip. So we have that downside. Can't do a centrifugal clutch on it. It just won't work, trust me. Or we do a pit bike engine or something like that with gears. I would really like to have a gear shifter to shift this thing and have some balls when we need it. Drop it down into first and just creep and crawl at high RPMs. That'll give you a ton of power out of them little engines. Believe it or not, they'll have plenty of power to move this big heavy beast. So guys, what I think we need to do now is pop off the tie rods on both sides and get these shocks off of here. And what we want to do is try and change these to the other side, hoping that they'll move them forward enough that we can clear those big tires. Not to mention, we're probably going to have to make these longer. And what I'd really like to do is maybe like a Polaris style setup where the shock is on the knuckle, somehow letting it move. I don't know. We got to figure that out. We might even have to just change the control arms to something that'll go up and down and pivot. Otherwise, we'll have what they call bump steer. So let's figure that out. We might even be able to just drop them down. I don't know. Let's get them moved to the other side. So they successfully swapped, but there's some issues. Nonetheless, I could make it work. I just have to cut out a little piece of this here, right there with the cutoff wheel, and it would work. But I'm not liking that we're gonna have bump steer as their travel is going up and down. That's gonna cause all kinds of wicked other issues. So I think we're just gonna have to get some other A-arms and put on here and do a full suspension system, because we can't run it the way that it is. There's no way that we could run it the way that it is. Even if I fixed it, I would get enough room for the front tires to turn and everything. I know that I would, but it just wouldn't be right. So we're gonna have to do something. Whether we modify this and make it so this will work just fine, and modify this so we like lengthen it, and then make this so as it goes up and down with the shock, because the shock is gonna have to come out to here. Not a big deal at all. We don't care about that. That's easy. But we need to cut this off and put some sort of a pivot so we can mount the shock to there, kind of like the Polaris setup. Maybe I could look into the Polaris arms. Or no, wait a minute. The Polaris arms don't pivot so the tires stay. They're like this. They're cheap. like this. I don't know. I guess one thing that I could do, because to gain the lift that I want, I'm gonna need camber. So one thing that I could do is off these spindles all together and do some beefier spindles and then put my own camber into them. That way, whenever they're at the height, they're set and then they'll move. Not a big deal, but I don't like that. So I'm gonna take these back out and I'm gonna grind down this just to make it so this thing moves. Now let's put it up in here and see. Oh yeah, that's gonna work. That's gonna work, fellas. Look at that. Oh yes. Now, we can make a very easy lift kit for this thing. Very easy. So, whatever we got to do to get the lift out of it and the tires and all that stuff to make this level, because let's face it, that's going to sit a little bit too low. We may have to do a lift on it, and then, yeah, when they go, they're going to be at an angle like that, but I think it'll be fine. You guys let me know what you think. Oh yeah, and we can do a bump stop here too. Look, there's even a spot for one. Imagine that. That's nice. Well, let's see about putting them other tires on and see what we got. Alright guys, we got it down sitting on the floor. Now, this is about the height that I want it to be. And then once everybody gets on it, it's gonna settle. But I'm still gonna go 3-inch wheel spacers back here. So I'm gonna have 4-inch wheel spacers on each side. Here, I'll probably do the same thing. But what we're gonna have to do is tighten up this tire and cut this and tweak it to get our camber to where we want it. Not real hard to do by any means. I think this is gonna work. It sits nice and forward. I am gonna have to cut this and angle this. This is all gonna be plated, but I'm gonna have to cut this and angle that on both sides, because when the suspension travels, the tire is gonna hit that. So not a big deal. It's coming along nicely. I think we're ready. Once we get this front end situated, all we gotta do in the next video is switch those spindles around and then get them bent and angled into where we want them. We could use a torch and bend them where we wanted them, but I don't have a torch. So we're just gonna cut and notch and then re-weld. Believe it or not, those are pretty darn beefy spindles. The only thing that's questioning me is these little, I guess you would call them kingpins. I don't know if they're gonna hold up or not. I'm not liking it, but it is what it is, I guess. All right, guys, I want to thank you for watching. And as always, if you have any ideas on what I should do on the front here, I'm real iffy about those kingpin things. I don't know. I mean, these golf carts are very heavy stock, and it's gonna be it's probably gonna be 1,000 pounds by the time I'm done adding everything to it. I don't know, man. I don't know how them kingpins are gonna, I'm real iffy about it. I like the fact of not really having to change much, but at the same time, am I gonna have problems there? Can I just put a nut and bolt, like a hardened nut and bolt through there and not worry about it? I don't know. Are those bearings or are they sleeves? There's no play in them. There's play in the, I don't have it tight, but there's no play in them. They go smooth. I don't know. All right, guys, please consider becoming a channel member or a Patreon. It really helps out the channel. You guys are awesome. Without you guys, I wouldn't be able to do half of what I do here. So I want to thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out and God bless. And don't forget, if you want a clutch kit for your CF Moto, definitely get with me.